All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show tonight. This is You, Me, and BTC episode number 224. Thanks for joining us tonight, kind of. Ugh. Oh, it's gross. Bitcoin is dead. I am Daniel Brown, and I'm here with
Tim Baker. Fuck Bitcoin.
Yeah, it feels a little bit like it. I mean, we've been here 100 times before, and we're going to repeat some of the same crap tonight.
It's
But
gonna be
it
all
does.
the same crap.
It seriously does. As much as we're joking, it seriously feels a little gross. And geez, why didn't I just sell a little bit more when it was like 19,000? It's rough. It's rough. But this is what we trained for, boys and girls. It's time to hodl. So
It's what we train for. What training have you done, Daniel?
geez, all kinds, man.
I meditate daily. I haven't masturbated in 7 months.
What would that be like? What would hodling training be? Like, what would be the method for hodling training?
Just like take like $100 bill and just burn it in front of you and be like, I don't care. Just like light all the bills in front of your face. So I don't give a shit about this. I'm a little bit too loud now. Yeah.
Actually, I was. So no, you're fine. You're fine. I saw mine turn red. We were, yeah. 224 episodes in, and we still can't get our audio right. That's okay.
We're having a little back-to-back mic talk, which is like super. I don't fucking know. Never mind. I was trying to make a dick joke.
Guys, I am going to show you the place to be tonight. This is you, me, and btc.com/live. What's up, NY Cartoons? Thanks for joining us. I know, RIP BTC, say it ain't so, yo. But we said it so. So thanks for joining us. It's going to be a great time. If you want to watch the video, which you might already be, if you want to jump in the chat, which you might already be, if you want to read the show notes, which you might have already done, but hey, reread them, find some links to the stories we're going to cover, and vote in our poll. All of that is at you, me, and btc.com/live. Here's the question tonight, the big ultimate question. This is important, guys, so pay attention. Is Bitcoin dead? Here's your options for answering. Option number 1, yep. Option number 2, yes. Option number 3, yeah. Or option number 4, Sorry. But those are your options. So make sure you vote. It's you, me, and btc.com/live. I want to give a quick shout out to our amazing sponsor who makes these episodes possible. That is America's Card Room, the planet's best crypto poker website. You can find them at you, me, and btc.com/poker. That's not too hard to remember because it's a poker website. That's why if you're going there, it's for poker. But here's the big deal. Here's a real big deal. Get 100% bonus on your first deposit with code BTC100. That's nice and simple. BTC100. That code will get you. It'll double your first deposit up to $1,500. And again, it's you, me, and btc.com/poker. All right, Tim. How you feeling today? You actually joked before the show that you feel good. Why?
I mean, it's kind of a joke, kind of me just trying to find some kind of good in this world before killing myself. But no, I'm kind of happy because I'm glad all you fucks are losing money. As I've bitched about constantly before, I'm still on the end of I should have bought more because I'll talk about this a little bit later. I still should have bought more because it's still I still would have made money. So fuck you guys. I'm loving the stories I'm seeing on like Reddit, which kind of fucks it up. I hate the internet, but then I also do like it because it does and it does kind of let you see all this just fucking crazy stuff. But then you also have to be like, this person might be lying. But people are like, I read this one the other day and the guy was like, I took half of my grandmother's money because I convinced her to invest in crypto. Now at $18,000, now it's all gone. The family thinks I conned money out of my grandmother. They think I just kept it. And my uncle is now pursuing legal action against me to take me out of the will.
Oh, jeez. That's rough. Is there a whole new subreddit for this, like Bitcoin death stories or something?
Or something like that. Bitcoin made me my maybe a bitch.
Hey, I know what you mean though. There is a good feeling when you're like, all right, finally I can buy more. Finally I can buy more. Because it does suck when the price goes up as wildly as it did last year. And you're like, geez, I should have had more. And you're constantly like, should have had more. And every $1,000, you're, geez, I could have had more. And so I totally agree. It can be a relief to say, all right, finally I can get some more at a fair price. I mean, it's tough because we were there before when it went from say 1,200 down to say 800, and everyone's like, oh yeah, buy it up, buy it up, buy it up. And then it goes all the way down to 300, 400 ish. Hey,
yeah, no, that's the worst part is I did kind of buy on the way. If I hadn't done that, if I hadn't bought some around like 12, I wouldn't feel. I still don't feel bad because I'm like, I was gonna buy it. I tell myself I don't feel bad because if I start admitting I feel bad, then I will. But that's hodling training is just hate yourself and hate the fact that you do anything. But no, yeah, it is kind of like it's okay. I can buy a little bit more now, and it's just this is kind of what I think. Like, I don't think this is like people want to complain about it going up and down like this. It's like this isn't a real economy, and I get that it does swing a lot because of how small it is and how easily like a few people can affect the price. But and it's also different because it's a monetary thing and it's not just an economy. Like it is more things than that. But an economy, the only reason why like it's Keynesians are the ones who want to keep the economy just at this like flat, just imagine just like a flat line because they're like, this is the best for they say investing. I don't really see that, but because generally people who are investing in something or who are not investing, it is that though. It is good for propping up a gigantic stock exchange that makes money off of corporations just doing all this shit. But as far as someone who's going to go out there and risk something to create a business, a stable economy is not always the best.
Yeah.
There's not that much demand. If you like an economy left alone generally corrects itself, but there are these some people get fucked and some people don't, but that's kind of at least the idea of and the reason why I like Bitcoin. I'm kind of starting to like Bitcoin more again because people are leaving, which is just me being I only like things that only a few people like. I'm like, fuck all you guys, go away. I hope you lose money.
Screw the mainstream. Screw it.
But yeah, I think that it's even if it isn't the most effective way, I like it again because it's just an untouched market. The government's not pumping in something; they're not forcing people to be part of it. But I think that that's gonna happen, and whatever. Life is a little bit more exciting. So what? You lost $50,000. I don't feel bad for you.
Yeah, that's it's the market. We've said it 100 times on this show, and we'll say it again. It's just you never freaking know. We love to hodl. We're going to train to hodl, and we're probably going to hodl. But hey, prices are still going to go down. Then they might stay down. It was I was looking at I don't know some random chart, and when we came down from 1,100-ish, 1,200-ish, we did not cross that until just last year. It was like a 3-year low, which actually is funny. I was thinking we started this show like either right after or right before the peak. The show began as Bitcoin was falling hard. And I just thought it was funny that how did we stick through all that? Like what yeah, we got into Bitcoin because of that hype. But then like why did we stay? Like why did we do this every week when Bitcoin like continued to slip down to 800, 7, 6 all the way down to 4 and as low as like 290 or something? I don't know, Tim. What
you're saying that's
like it's one thing to just real quick. It's one thing to just like hide your money on a paper wallet and just let it sit there till you retire. But I'm partially wondering like we didn't just do that. We started this show as it was coming down. how did we do that, Tim? Why did we keep doing that, committing to this when Bitcoin was just sucking in terms of price?
I mean, because we could make so many episodes about the price not mattering.
Just like today.
Yeah, I mean, but we also, even like, John was the last of us three, and then Zach is just the last of all of us. But back then, like, John was the last one, I think, to actually get Bitcoin, and he still got it at like a couple hundred. So we had kind of, we like, it dropped to 200. We're still like, we might not. I probably didn't have any Bitcoins from whenever it was $20, but I'm like, it used to be $20. Why couldn't it go back up? There's no reason why it couldn't. I'm not going to put in all my savings like these people are doing, which, again, I probably should have, but I'm not that brave about. I don't have that much balls to do that. I should have. All of us should. But we had some other kind of reason to do it, and like, the podcast was also probably just kind of self-fulfilling then, because it's like, why do you still care about Bitcoin? Because there's just everybody just, what are you going to sell? It was like, you've been doing this since I bought it, like, wait, how many years ago now?
Oh, geez, 5, 6,
yeah,
pushing 6, yeah.
6 months after that, everyone's like, so I heard you have this thing, when are you going to sell it? That was, it was probably a lot out of spite. And then we were just, I think we talked about in an episode before, like, the reason why we started doing it, we were going to talk anyway, so we might as well just record it. Like,
Right,
because we weren't doing a live thing. We didn't have all you amazing people in the chat telling us how much you love us and sending us thousands of dollars every week to keep us going. So, that's right. NY Cartoons, get rid of the let's all become Ahab and just post the whales, bother them on Twitter, tell them that they lost all their money and that they should quit.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with your analysis there. We had other stuff to talk about besides the price. Well, no, I mean, the price falling was also a great topic to cover, but the reason we kept with it so much is because we figured that there's more to it than that. And we would still say that today. That's exactly what we're going to say right here today in this show, is there's more to Bitcoin than the price. As much as we love when it goes up, as much as it's tough when it goes down, I mean, that's what can we say? I don't know.
Part of it is probably me liking to feel superior over people, because it's not like I have all of my money in Bitcoin that I'm taking it out of the dollar. But even just the idea of getting my money out of the dollar, whether that's from it's day to day, whether it's me just not liking the government taking my money and feeling bad for myself, and then also, like, legitimately being, this is blood money pretty much. So I just like the idea of a currency that isn't controlled by anyone. It's kind of, I like it's like, this is working. This is what I've said. Like, not me, because I shouldn't take stuff like it's me reading other people. It's me reading. It's the Mises Institute having like thousands of hours of podcasts. Again, why do those guys do it? They don't get paid that much. It's because they found something they like doing. They like talking. They like speaking. They like trying to convey ideas to people, and they're not just doing it to be like, hey, let's just let's just do this because we're going to make a bunch of money out of it. It's like, I actually believe in this, and all three of us are kind of, whether or not this is good in the general population, all of us do have at least a history of more being like we do stuff. There's normally a deeper reason why we choose to do things. At least it seems like, at least, like, it's not just, why'd you do that? Like, it's like, I think this is right. I think this is helpful. I think this is blah, 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 blah. Not that my decisions have always been good. I'm not trying to be like, I figure things out, but I normally make up at least a reason to do it. So I'm a little bit more invested in something, and I don't just jump right back out of it because,
yeah. No, I mean, that's right. I mean, that's pretty much what we do. I got to ask, on a somewhat related note, like I said, it's one thing to hodl. It's one thing to bury your money until you retire. What would you say to someone that's like, well, I need that money today or tomorrow? Bitcoin's down 50% from its, somewhat high of 16, 17, 18,000, whatever. It's down 50%. But I need that money, whether it's an emergency or if you need to buy a car and you were planning to get one this year, whatever it is, like all of a sudden hodling breaks. I mean, it's like I remember I was looking. I don't remember where I read that. I got on a bit of a Dave Ramsey kick a few weeks back. Maybe I heard it from him.
Who's
But
Dave Ramsey?
the finance budgeting guy, he does a radio show.
Okay.
He's all about getting debt free. He's got the debt free scream and all that stuff.
Okay.
But it wasn't with regard to Bitcoin, but he was basically saying, I'm pretty sure it was him. He's basically saying, like, actually, if you need to spend your money within, say, 3 years, you actually don't want to put it in the stock market because there's ups and downs. And there's something like a 20 to 30% chance that if you put your money in the stock market and wait 3 years, I'm sure these numbers are guesses. I'm sure I'm paraphrasing and estimating whatever, but it was something like that. Like, you actually don't want to invest your money if it's short term because, 1 out of 3 times you're going to lose a little bit of money. And the reason he could say that is because you look historically anyway, and you look at every 3-year period. The 3 years between 1950 and 1953. Okay, then you mark that down. Then you look at the 3 years between 1951 and 1954, and you write that down. And you obviously you have a computer do it, but so then all of a sudden you have a list of a whole bunch of 3-year periods, and you can look at how many of those periods the market went up and how many it went down, and you can say, well, there you go. 1 in 3 times you're actually going to lose money, and you might not be willing to make that bet. And so the conclusion is, you actually don't want to invest your money if it's short term. If you know you're going to have to spend it within a year or two, you actually don't want to invest it. So my question to you, Tim, and to the audience, jump in the chat anytime. I'd love that. But it's, should we have a similar mindset with Bitcoin? If you're going to buy a car this year, should you be keeping that in dollars because Bitcoin might be down for a year or two? I mean, yeah, we hate the dollar, but we also got to be practical. Like, what would you do?
Well, it's just the whole thing of not investing more than you can lose. If it's an emergency, that's just not like HODL it's a Reddit meme. Like, you shouldn't be. I have cancer, but HODL fucking that's not a good idea. That's just not a good idea. So don't do that. But if you don't, like, if it's not an emergency, then just leave it in there. You're not going to do anything better with it. If it's a car, see if you can ride the thing out. Don't be like, well, nobody wants to fuck me because it's an old car or something. like just drive in the car. If it's your preference, it's whatever. Just have a little. That's part of the problem. And you were saying this thing about Dave Ramsey, and I was looking it up. And he has articles like, wait, what's his name? Ramsey. Okay, I typed Ramsey. But it came up.
Maybe that's because I'm the one with the speech impediment. I didn't say it right.
I don't know. He has an article. Yeah, like you said, it's all about the debt-free stuff. And is the envelope system the key to controlling your money? Most people,
he's big on that. Yeah,
most people are fucking stupid with their money, and they do that. It's not just Bitcoin that they're over investing in. They're just, I mean, I need this big house right now, and I need to just put I'm like people who work like 2 jobs at a bar, and it's like you're not bringing in, like, you have no stable employment really. You kind of like on a 6-month like probationary period at both of these, but no, I need to buy a house or I need to have more kids now. There's stuff like, just in general, people are bad with money. Did you say he was talking about crypto?
Oh, he has once or twice, but no, I was just talking about the stock market and how he said not really to invest short term.
Yeah. I mean,
he basically said even if even if the odds are in your favor a little bit, like I said, 1 in 3 chance of losing money. Well, okay, so most of the time you're going to gain money over a 3-year period. But even then, he's like, yeah, so yeah, the odds are kind of in my favor, but it's still not a bet I'm willing to make.
Yeah, if you're really, if it depends on where, like me or you being a younger male, we're not as worried about having a heart condition. But if you're in the same, and this is again what I'm talking about, like there's people 56 years old who are in the same like insurance slash living situation as I am. So it's like, why haven't you killed yourself yet? Like, I wouldn't want to deal with it. Like, you're walking around being like, I don't know if my foot's just gonna break for no reason. But yeah, no, if you have like if you're in a job maybe where you have a possibility of something bad happening, if you're anything really besides like a young male, I would just say keep a lot of money around, because there's something that could happen at any time. That could, I mean, there's something that can happen to me, but it's less likely. No, it's actually, I'm more likely to kill myself, but then there's no cost. So but yeah, people.
Yeah.
I don't really know what you asked before.
No. I mean, we were just kind of commenting on short-term investing. Well, I guess with Bitcoin, it's still, like you said, the answer you gave is it's personal preference. You know, if you need something, if you need to buy something, then if you want to, then buy it instead of Bitcoin. But I mean, it's hard to know. It's hard to know.
Yeah, it's like sell
Another
part
thing,
of Bitcoin, pay part, and cat do whatever. Yeah.
but one of the ways, this also comes from Dave Ramsey, one of the ways you can answer questions when you're stuck in a situation like that, instead of asking like, oh, should I sell my Bitcoin to buy a car? You can instead think, well, let's say I had $15,000 cash, in my checking account. Would I buy Bitcoin or buy a car? That's the same question, but then it makes you realize, like, oh, well, I definitely would not be investing in Bitcoin that much right now, so maybe I would get the car.
Yeah.
Right? Am I making sense? Like, even though Bitcoin's down a bit, I still today I would rather have. I'm not saying this for sure. I'm just saying you might think this out this way. You might say like, oh, well, yeah, Bitcoin's down a bit, and yes, I have $15,000 in Bitcoin. And yes, I wish I sold a month or 2 or 3 ago, but still today, if I had $15,000 cash, I actually wouldn't put every penny of that into Bitcoin. I would rather put, half of it towards the car. Am I making sense there?
Yeah, so you just sell half of it. That's what you're meaning? Or
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly. So what I'm saying is that's a good way to rethink things, because most people get stuck. They're like, oh, I have Bitcoin and it's down a bit, so I have to keep it. But that's not exactly the question. The question is not, do you have to keep Bitcoin? The question is, would you rather have Bitcoin or have a car? And that answer can vary. I mean, that's all I'm saying, is it's just a different way to look at it. I know a lot of people out there say hodl, and I would too. I'm just saying, you gotta ask these questions. But anyway, enough about the price. I'm showing we're already about halfway through here, and I promised in the show notes that we wouldn't talk about it too much because we've done it a lot. So we'll move on. I found a story today that I liked, so I guess we'll do this next. But before we get there, I guess I'll just drop another quick reminder, guys, to head to youmandbtc.com/live. That is the place to be if you want to jump in the chat or anything else. Vote in our poll. That'd be a good one. In fact, just for kicks, I will pull open the results in a new tab and see what we got here. 8 votes so far. It looks like roughly, if I'm doing my math right, 6 of those votes are going towards and I have 1 vote towards yep and 1 vote towards yes. Bitcoin is dead. I don't know, Tim. Looks like everyone agrees Bitcoin is dead.
Bunch of snitch motherfuckers.
Official now. Yeah. But hey, so that is kind of funny that 78% now. Oh, I just got another vote. 78% said, mm-hmm. I don't know what made that one stand out. Maybe it was just slightly different than all the ones that started with a Y.
It's because of your sassy humor. They wanted to be sassy back.
That's possible. It's possible.
Girl, yeah, you Bitcoin be dead.
Oh, that's pushing the race line right there. That's all right.
Pushing the race line. That was a white woman.
What?
That was
Bitcoin?
That was my transgender alpha, or not alpha, alter
Alphazer?
ego, Caroline.
All right. What? That's it. Tim's got it right there.
That's my crypto ego.
So this, yeah. Anyway, what I was saying, it's you, me, and btc.com/live is the place to be for the chat and the poll and the links and whatever. So, Tim, I wanted to cover a little bit of botnets mining Monero. So there's a story here from Cointelegraph. Cointelegraph. Always love their artwork. Kudos to them for always making that pretty darn interesting. Man, I wish I had, I wish I knew a couple artists and could afford to pay them to do something like this for every one of our shows. I've done some similar stuff, but it takes work. It really does. I know, because I've done it. Anyway, yeah, so there's a botnet, malware, a virus, whatever you want to call it, that is using...
Brilliant idea.
What'd you say? A brilliant idea?
Yeah.
All right. It is. It's making them a lot of money. What I think they estimated $2.1 million so far.
24 Monero coins per day.
Yeah, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. But here's a couple of things that I want to talk about with this. First of all, it came from the name of the exploit. What was the name of the exploit?
Monero?
Eternal Blue. Eternal Blue was the name of the exploit. It was released by the NSA. And that we actually did I should have put it in the show notes. Yeah, but we did an episode about that, where I think when they crashed the hospital, in fact, I'm sure I'm typing it in right now. NSA hospital, you, me, and BTC. So I can find the episode number for you. Yeah, there it is. It's episode number 181. So if you want to get to it, it's you, me, and btc.com/E181. We'll get you there. We did a whole episode about Eternal Blue and the NSA and how they brought down a hospital. So that was fun. There's some interesting points to be made there, but you can listen to that episode for those. I'm curious, Tim. Well, one of the things that is, closely related to this is running the same kind of software on a website. Now, this is another thing that we've talked about before, and it's another. This time I did actually link it in the show notes way back in 2015. Over the summer, we were doing live news shows, and we covered the concept of having your browser mine for you while you're browsing. Exactly. And here's the thing. I know we've brought this up once or twice more recently, just in the past few months, because we actually experimented with that on our website. I put up a little box. I asked everyone, I said, click here if you want to mine for us instead of seeing ads. So that's kind of all came to mind when I saw this story. And I wanted to pull it back out, even though we've covered bits of it before. I wanted to pull it back out because I actually ended up, because there's been a lot of controversy over that kind of software. Now, a botnet's one thing. If you're infecting computers and, using them to infect nearby computers and using them to infect nearby computers, whatever. Like that's wrong, of course. But Tim, what do you think about if a website does it? Because the Pirate Bay was doing it for a while and they didn't ask permission. They just did it on all of the computers on Pirate Bay. And that was a huge controversy, which we probably also covered that on the show. I don't remember. But I want to bring it up again just to see what you think. Because some people just freaking hate that. Do you hate that, Tim?
Yeah, I don't hate it. Like this, I legitimately am like kind of like, oh, this is cool. Like this is cool. This is a world I live in where people just fucking do this with
The
their
botnet
lives.
part you think is like interesting?
Yeah, just like
Okay.
kind of like I'm like, would somebody make this up in like an old science fiction novel? That like big hackers of 2018 were just fucking hacking people's Google accounts to
That's
like
a
to
good
fucking
point. Like that does sound like frickin' Star Wars or like Guardians, like some random planet in Guardians of the Galaxy where it's like, oh, that's where they infect all the computers and just rake in the cash.
just goes across the universe.
I think
But
I think to me, the thing that makes it just so different and so worth talking about is that they're not actually taking like they're not stealing your identity. They're not stealing your credit card information. They're just using your computer. I'm not saying it's an excuse by any stretch. I'm just saying it's like it's one of the most benign yet lucrative types of hacking. Because like yeah, it'll slow down your computer, but that's literally like it. Like it just all it does is
yeah,
process. That's it.
Verizon's already sending you shitty internet. Or what's yours again? Like some
Oh,
like
well, I
weird
had Cox and yeah,
cock.
that was bullcrap. But yeah, you're right. Like, yeah, it's gonna slow down, but so does everything else you do. And so, but it's also extremely lucrative, and it's just something to think about. Like, well, then what does that mean? Is that good?
it,
Does that
it,
mean everyone
it
should be mining for themselves on their random old computers? What?
yeah, because because those people aren't going to do it. It almost kind of does. It's right in that little bit of like, yeah, it's crime, but the person who's having it committed against them barely even notices, and it's not like this is even less like aggressive than like an old person being talked into buying just shitty jewelry on late night television. Like they're just like, yeah, we're just gonna steal from your Google a little bit.
Well, that's actually a fair point. I mean, obviously, morality is a hard thing to talk about, and everyone's going to have their own opinions. But if you think about it, like borrowing a bit of computer power while someone's not even at their computer might be like way less problematic than exactly what you said. Than like just conning someone out of $79.99 for a $3 piece of jewelry. Yeah, I mean that's an important question. Which one's worse? Like why would we why would someone commit their lives to taking down Monero mining when, like the world's a rough place. Bad stuff happens, but that doesn't seem like something that I need to commit my life to eradicating. Is
Yeah.
that a fair assessment?
Yeah, no, it's a very like do a little triage for like what you think is important in the world. Figure out where you're putting like most of your concern on Twitter. If it's against something like this, there's a lot worse things out there that you could be doing that are not doing, but you could be talking about if you're seriously concerned. Like this is seriously probably at the top of my list. I can't think of anything else that you could do that could be like considered stealing from somebody. Um, but yeah,
Wait. You're saying wait. I lost track there. Top of this is at the top
like the
of what
top of the
list?
list pretty much for shit that I don't care. Like
Oh, stuff you
I
don't
said
care
that
about.
wrong.
I thought you
It's
might have
not
been
how people
saying it.
make lists, but you put the most unimportant down. What does that mean, Tim? Nothing. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't care. If I the Pirate Bay again, it's like I don't. They're like, we know why you guys are here. What are you going to do? Go
Oh,
complain about it to
well,
somebody?
yeah, that's a thing. So this is great. This is exactly the kind of stuff I want to talk about. And like I said, in terms of a botnet, that's one thing. Like, yeah, it kind of sucks when someone breaks into your computer, and yeah, they could probably do worse things with it. So let's try to turn that off. Maybe I care about that a little more. But yeah, I mean, the Pirate Bay doing it, even without asking permission, like, so what? I mean, that's every website you go to is running all kinds of JavaScript. Like, so okay, so they're mining. Like, if it really made your computer that slow, you just close it out and like, all right, fine, then I'm not going to use it. And then they'll ramp it down a little bit because they like, yeah, okay, fine, make a bit of a stink about it so that they know it's slowing down your computer so that they lower the amount of power that they take, maybe. But you don't have to make a stink like, oh, it's the end of the world. Like, we
Especially
finally
when you
made
didn't
it to that
notice it in the
point
first
where,
place.
oh yeah, that
I hate
exactly,
this,
yeah,
like,
yeah. If
people's
that is
outrage
such a
after
good
the
point.
fact.
Yeah,
So,
if you
I didn't even
literally
notice it
didn't
happened
notice,
then, but now that I think about it,
exactly, that's an extremely good point. But yeah, like exactly. I mean, every website you go to is running code, operations, analytics, all kinds of stuff. Everyone knows it. And now that's not an excuse. Like, yeah, just because everyone knows it's happening doesn't make it right. Fine,
I don't
sure,
know.
but
I find what Facebook does to be worse than even like way worse than just
exactly,
this, and just like the effect
exactly,
of it on people. But
yeah.
if something like this, I'm almost more like if I did get taken, like they were using my Google, or even I'm not the best example because I'll probably say this if someone legitimately scams me out of $20 on the street, but I'll be like, hey, you got me. I don't like
Well,
good
yeah,
for
that
you.
happened. I mean, I'm sure I must have told you this story. Yeah, well, I'm sure everyone's gotten baby scams about random stuff all over the place, but for me, it was a mixtape at a gas station. Like, they
I
were like
should have that
accepting.
experience being from Stowe, but I somehow don't.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, it. He said, "Hey, we just put out a mixtape and we're going on tour to support world peace." Oh, that got me.
I like
No,
world
but the thing
peace.
is, I tried to give him like $5, and then he's like, "Well, wait, what if you just take 2 of them or something?" I'm like, "Well, I don't have a 10, but here's a 20. I'll take change." But they never actually gave me change. And then the mixtapes had like they both had like it was oh yeah, yeah, the second one was supposed to be different. That's why they tried to tell me 2 because they're like, "Oh, this is mine too. I don't know, whatever." He's like, "I put it out under my other label if you want to get another one for another 5." Okay, here's a 20. I never got anything back.
I mean, this is a little bit drastic, Dan. They saw you as the mark you were, and they're like, "We can get this kid."
I mean, yeah, I'm sure I screwed up. I was an idiot. Didn't think about it. Didn't care about it. That's the thing too. With any kind of scam is when it's like so small. It's like that you don't care about it, and then that just makes it even worse because it's like, yeah, it's not a problem, but that's exactly why it worked. Like it worked.
Yeah,
They
it worked because I didn't
succeeded.
give a shit enough.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like they succeeded because it works because it's not a problem, but it is a problem. Which maybe we're propagating. Maybe that's what we just said about mining Monero on websites. Like we just said it's not a problem, but maybe that's why it is a problem.
It doesn't matter. That's why it does.
Yeah,
Uh,
I don't know. I don't know.
yeah,
But
I don't share your complete zen of just being scammed out of $20 for a mixtape, but I get your point.
well, I guess it was pretty zen.
I
Yeah,
would like
it was a good
scam.
story.
No, yeah, it's a better story than like. But if I'm gonna be, I would like a more involved scam, just because then I could be like, oh, okay, this is like a real time like huckster who came out of his.
Hey,
Hello, speaking of hucksters, hello Zach.
he's done with his pedo party.
I can't hear you. Just a second.
Don't worry.
Also, that was a joke. Don't take that seriously, please.
Okay, now I can hear you.
He's hanging out with the Clintons, doing all this shit.
No, it's Podesta, right? Or no,
I mean,
yeah.
it's all of them, man. It's definitely Trump too. They all like fucking kids. He's actually what?
Oh, Zach, how you feeling today? Is it rough? Is it rough out there?
Yeah, it's a little rough. I don't know. I don't really care a whole lot because obviously the price doesn't matter or something, whatever we tell ourselves. But yeah, it's a little rough. I don't know. Some coins have been doing okay. Like I've sort of become a degenerate gambler with a little bit of my Bitcoin, but some of the coins are doing okay.
Actually, is hanging in there.
Yeah, and like Neo, there's a bunch of ICOs launching on it later this week, so that's getting up there too. Um,
All right. So
I have
if
to
you need,
confess, I was late because I was finishing up helping these kids prep for a debate tournament, and then I just finished up an interview with Jen Scott, who was on the Bitcoin panel at Davos, the Davos conference,
oh, nice.
and she's in Hong Kong right now, so this is the only time that worked for her. But that'll
So
be
is that
upcoming.
what we're doing on Monday then? Or do you have another
Yeah,
one?
I think
All right.
either that one or I don't know. I'm not sure. We have a ton of them, so.
All right, cool. Hey, so we have we'll go ahead and make this a transition point since Zach jumped in. We have two more little things to cover. First one is a story that Tim liked about Facebook banning ICOs. Like, you thought it was bad when China banned ICOs, but Facebook's freaking global and they banned ICOs. So we'll have a chat about that momentarily. I'm going to run my ad, of course. But also, Zach has a big announcement. Just a little bit. Don't have to give out too many details because it's not super official yet. But we're gonna put out a little bit of some of our ideas and plans. I didn't quite tell Zach that we were gonna announce this, but I figure why not.
Don't tell anyone. Just it's between us listeners and me and Dan and Tim. Don't tell anyone though.
Yeah, if you happen to hear anything, just ignore it because it's internal discussion. So it's don't worry about it. But yeah, I'm gonna run a quick ad. We'll be back momentarily. I'll ask Tim and Zach to mute themselves and be back in a second.
Get ready for Crypto Overload. We're making it easy to get into the game at America's Card Room with your favorite cryptocurrency. We are thrilled to announce that you can deposit and cash out using more than 60 different cryptocurrencies. We are the first poker site to offer this after already accepting Bitcoin from the beginning. Cryptocurrencies are the future. We can predict that playing real money poker will never be easier at americascardroom.com.
Yes, so please check them out. They've been great to us for several months now. They literally make this show possible and extra episodes possible. It's not an exaggeration. They literally let us, made it possible for us to do 2 episodes per week. That's you can find them again, me and btc.com/poker with the code BTC100 for your massive bonus. So, Tim, tell us about Facebook. It's fun. We get to talk about them again. We were just joking about them a minute ago. What did we say about Facebook? Oh, because they're worse than.
Yeah, I was already shitting on Facebook just for just the way it's kind of just like it's literally at this point like a drug for some people. And I saw a press release by him or some kind of release recently where they're like, we're setting in these options to help people spend less time on Facebook and help them stay with their family. I'm like, Jesus Christ, dude, just shut the thing down. What the fuck is the matter with you? And I was like, he's gonna be president. It's gonna be great.
I mean, yeah, I uninstalled Facebook from my phone. I mean, months ago, 6 months, 12 months.
It won't let me look at messages on my computer because I haven't downloaded it for my phone.
Hey, yeah, that's crap. Are you sure? I can look at it on my computer.
If it's any consolation, Facebook earnings just came out today, and they had like the first decline in North American users ever in their history this year, like by 1 million or so. So they're going, yeah, good.
Well, yeah, they're running all kinds of crap. They've been shutting down publishers.
Well,
they're having trouble.
The other thing is whenever they start doing, and I haven't really read anything about it because I have a pretty good idea why they're going to say they're doing it. It's probably, I'm looking at it now. It's going to be because, this isn't regulated and people are just stealing money from each other and we can't have financial things on here because it's bad and it's not the right way to deal with. But it's like,
that's for you mean for ICOs.
Yeah.
You're saying that's why they're blocking ICOs.
Yeah, because it's it's wrong to promote the
best thing that I read, I don't remember I don't remember what article I read it from. The one in our show notes is from TechCrunch, but I don't remember where I quite read this analysis. But they said something like, or this might have been a quote from Facebook, something like, it's not so much that we don't like ICOs, it's that a lot of them are just like poorly managed. I think they use the term good faith. They're not managed in good faith. Like too many of them are too risky, so we can't promote it. Like we just can't get work. Oh, I'm looking at it right here. It is in TechCrunch. There are many companies who are advertising binary options, ICOs, and cryptocurrencies that are not operating in good faith. And the thing is, that's kind of fair. Now, we've had some discussions just recently on the show about advertising on our own website, just for kicks, just to let you know how we do it and what our thinking is. I do allow pretty much anyone to advertise on the site. I mean, I'd probably, if no one's ever asked me to, but I probably wouldn't allow like nudity or anything, just because it would probably upset Google or whoever, and I would, it would hurt my SEO or who knows what. And it's just, 90% of people just, they don't need ads to find that stuff. But no, so I really do, though, in general. I accept pretty much anything. And the reason that I've said the reason is because, well, yeah, of course they're paying for it a fair amount, and it's tough to turn that down. I'll be honest there too. But really, like, I trust you guys. Like, we say on the show all the time that ICOs are risky. Like, we joke about them so much. We write articles on them so much. Zach has a whole series about hilarious and probably pretty crappy ICOs. So we're not expecting any of our readers to actually take it seriously. Well, no. We're not expecting any of them to take it seriously without doing more research.
Yeah,
we are trusting our readers to know that a banner ad is a banner ad and nothing more.
Yeah, but that's partly it's because of how big Facebook is compared to us, but we also trust all our users to not have the intelligence of a 10-year-old, which Facebook both cannot and also is not interested in that. Facebook would love it if people just used Facebook forever. Oh, I saw it on Facebook. That means it must be good. Because I looked, I didn't know what a binary trading option was, and it's just all or nothing. And they're saying that's the problem with it. It's like, oh, well, people are just going to lose all their money in these horrible scams, which is
it is some kind of like derivative of a derivative, stock market type of thing, leverage, whatever. I mean, it's just a stock market concept, I guess. But yeah, I mean, that's really what it comes down to is we trust our readers. And if it, then it's like, well, shouldn't you have compassion? Let's say you had one reader who didn't know what he was doing and invested a ton of money in a bad ICO because of your banner ad. Sorry, I don't have compassion. What do I say there?
We got an email. I was like, my son invested in fucking what do we have? It just has spent all of my money at America's Card Room, all of it. I had millions in Bitcoin.
Yeah,
he said
exactly.
He could double the investment. He said he could get all this, and then he fucking lost all of it. I would.
Well, the thing is, you're exaggerating, but that's exactly why we're not going to have compassion, because the only way you can screw up that bad is if you're so crazy that what you just did is equivalent to an exaggeration.
Right.
Like that's why I'm not going to have compassion, because you really have to screw up in order to really screw up because of a banner ad. So.
And you'll odds are, if you do something like that, you'll make that mistake at some point in your life inevitably.
Oh yeah.
So there's no way, like us telling you don't do this. Maybe you'll do it anyway, but even if you don't, you'll do it at some point, and it could be a lot worse than just America's Card Room. So make the mistake now. Get your mom like hellfire mad at you for losing millions of dollars, and then go on your way. Like, you'll do it eventually if you're that stupid. So
This is why
you're welcome for letting us give you that opportunity to learn. You should be thanking us.
You need to let your kids fuck up with money when they're like 2, and losing $5 is literally the end of the world. So that when they're 25, they're not still just I just spent like $500 on nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that really is what it comes down. Like what it comes down to, Zach. Like I'm not a huge proponent of like I hate when people say like learn from your mistakes, because like, yeah, I know that you do learn from your mistakes. I know it's good to learn from your mistakes, and that's all fine and dandy. Like, learn what you can. But the reason I hate when people like bank on that is because, like, well, no, like, I'd rather not make the mistake in the first place. I'd rather, like, yes, I want to learn from my mistakes, but I'm not gonna like try to make mistakes so that I can learn. But with all of that said, I still agree with you, Zach. Like, we're not encouraging you to make mistakes at all. We're not saying you should try to make mistakes. Like, what we're saying is if you are that mistake prone, then there's nothing we can do. You know, and the other thing is, how do we know that these aren't actually legit? Like, yeah, most ICOs are probably fairly risky and sketchy, and yes, we tell people all that all the time. But what do we know? Like, I'm not going to research every single one. Maybe some of them are great and are going to make people like you a ton of money. It's possible, and I don't have the time or responsibility to decide all of that for every single person that wants to advertise with me. I'm just not going to do it. And it's not like I'm not saying that my lack of time should therefore justifies my leading you on to a mistake. I'm saying that it's not my responsibility, and I'm not leading you on to a mistake. Like, yeah, sure, like if you're that stupid, it's going to happen anyway, so whatever. But I'm not leading you on to a mistake. You know, you're the one with the money. You're the one with the attention that you're directing towards an ICO or not directing towards an ICO. That's up to you. So, anyway,
yeah, essentially all they're asking us as advertisers is, can we tell people about us? And we say sure, and then you as listeners have the chance to hear it and say, okay, do I want to give them my money? Like, we have no role in it. We're just saying, yeah, you can tell them, listeners, you can listen, and that's it.
Yeah, there is a bit of a difference. Well, more than a bit. There would be a pretty big difference if we said, if we made, we could be straight up lying. We could make certain claims about something that are just plain false. But the thing is, and that we do try to avoid. I mean, with America's Card Room, we really do love it. And it works. We've used it. And there is a real bonus there. And it's fun. So it's great. With the ICOs, we don't make claims. We've done a couple like ICO live reads in the past, like, talking about them on the show. And that, we're not going to tell you that they're going to make you rich. We're going to tell you that, hey, their white paper is here if you want to check it out. We're going to tell you that, hey, their pre-sale starts next week if you want to check it out. That's what we're going to do. We're not going to tell you that it's going to make you rich, because it might definitely not. So
yeah, that starts to cross a little bit of a line when you're like, you just start hawking stuff at people, and you
right. Our goal is not to shill anything, unless we genuinely do love it, like Bitcoin and America's Card Room, or who knows what. If we genuinely love it, we'll say that. We're still not going to promise any kind of results, because maybe you won't love it, right? Or maybe you won't make money on it. But we will tell you if we love something. Other than that, we're just going to give you factual information, that it's going to cost this much per token, and it starts next week or whatever. So, and this is their website.
Yeah.
That's about it. I need to stop. At this point, I've talked about enough that it sounds like I'm just trying to make excuses. So I guess we'll just...
I swear to God, guys, I have an integrity.
I just flipped over and a bunch of chat went by because James Bond jumped in. So him and Tim are really going at it. He's a little late, but that's the beauty of the internet and computers is that you can everything's recorded. So
It's this thing you're listening to, James. It's a podcast.
Yes, this is called a podcast. So, oh geez, I got too many Bitcoin, James, and they're not even worth anything these days. So I'm gonna keep my shirt on tonight, I guess. But
yeah, Bitcoin's basically dead. The price is back to where it was at Thanksgiving, and that was like 1,000 years ago. So might as well just quit now.
Yeah, that's like almost word for word what I said, Zach, right before we started the show. I said to Tim, like, it really is kind of gross. Like, yeah, we don't care about the price, but yeah, it still pretty much sucks. But I said Thanksgiving. I was super excited to hit 8,000. So you know what? This is still pretty darn awesome.
It just blows my mind. People are freaking out. I mean, people who bought at like 17,000, I guess, should freak out because they lost a lot of money. But like, I still have the Wall Street Journal front page cover saying Bitcoin soars past $4,000, and I'm like, hype. So we went up to 20,000, and now we're back to 8,000. I don't care. Like, it's all in a day's work.
Yep. I'm showing 8 o'clock even my time, which is 10 o'clock Eastern, which is when we close the show. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to call it for another beautiful, gorgeous, wild, exciting Thursday night live show.
Which of us is each one of those? Beautiful.
I'm dibs on gorgeous over here. Yeah. Guys, it's really been a blast. Thanks for joining us, NY Cartoons. Thanks for joining us, James Bond. Thanks for joining us, Jeremy Bennett. Sup, fellas? Guys, if you weren't in the chat tonight, if you're listening to the podcast, I just encourage you to check it out. Have some fun one of these Thursday nights. We are live every Thursday from 9 to 10 p.m. Eastern. We really do. I mean, we'll get anywhere from like 5 to 15 live viewers, but downloads, over 1,000, 2,000, depending, 3,000, depending on the episode and the title and whatever. Or there's even more that we can't really count because it's just satellite radio, so who knows. But regardless, wherever you're listening, first of all, I want to say thank you. And second of all, I want to say come out for a live show sometime if you haven't already. All right, guys, I'm ready to go. Are you? It's been hey, you know what? Let's do one sentence.
We're never leaving. Daniel, take your shirt off.
Yeah. Bitcoin's not worth anything anymore, James. I'm sorry. But no, hey, seriously, real quick, one sentence advice of the week. I'll go first and I'll just say, hang in there, buddies. Hang in there. All right, who's next?
Find something else. Yeah. I'll be quick. Find something else to do with your time. If you want to hodl, find a different hobby to do so you don't have to worry about hodling. Best way to hodl is
fair. Yeah, that's a good point. That seriously is beneficial to try not to think about when the price is down. All right, Zach, hit us.
True. So my advice is stay tuned because we have I'll just say we have a brand new project coming out.
I promised that we'd make this announcement. So go for it.
That's the way you do teasers. Do like the news.
just do a teaser and then end the show and never come back.
We have a brand new project coming out. Hopefully, like over the weekend, but no promises. We'll see how much work we can get done. But I'm pretty excited. But I'm also getting paid for it. But you should be excited too, because we have a lot of cool material that we'll throw at you to force you to listen to, because that's what we do. So yeah, it's pretty exciting. Brand new project. Yeah. Stay tuned.
Yeah, exactly. Keep an eye out, and we got more projects, more content coming your way with maybe a new brand or a sub show or who knows. So keep an eye out for
drugs.
All of that. It could be drugs. We might be sending drugs to everyone. Who knows?
That's the new way YMB goes. We become the new cartel. So we're going to go in against the Mexican cartels and the U.S. government. We're going to make it. We're going to do our best.
All right, peace out, guys. It's been a blast. The music that you're hearing right now is from the late, great, terrible, awful John Stewart. And we'll see you on Monday for a special interview from Zach. And we'll see you next Thursday live from 9 to 10 p.m. Eastern. Peace out. We
Bye,
love
guys.
you.
Love
In the
you.
meantime, me and BTC.com. Got to fit that one in.